Rise.
Well, good morning, everybody. It's my very great pleasure to welcome you to the swearing in of two new members of the court. Special welcomes will be given to the family and friends of those taking up office as we go along, but I'd also like to say how very pleased we all are to welcome the Lord Chancellor and Lord Kakar, without both of whom these appointments would not have been possible. And of course the Attorney General, the Solicitor General, the Advocate General for Scotland and the Lord Advocate, judges from international and United Kingdom courts who are with us today. So it's good to see you all here. It's wonderful to have this court as full as it was for the last important case that we heard. The ceremony you are about to witness is relatively simple, but no less important for that. After some introductory words about the person to be sworn in, each will be invited to come forward to take the oaths required by law. Then, that is firstly the oath of allegiance to Her Majesty the Queen, and secondly, the judicial oath, which will be for something like the fourth time of asking, I should think, for both of you. Each new justice will then sign the oaths book so that there is a permanent record of the oaths they have taken. They will then be invested with their gowns and presented with their letters patent, recording their appointment by Her Majesty the Queen. They will then be invited to take their seat on the bench. So I'll now turn to the first of the new justices to be sworn in today, and to welcome those of you who are here to support Lady Arden. It's a special delight to welcome back Lady Arden's husband, Lord Mance, who is no stranger to this room, but he is with us today in a very different, but no doubt no less proud capacity, as the spouse of a member of the court, rather than as its deputy president. And it's also lovely to welcome their daughters and grandchildren who are with us here today, as they were, of course, when Lord Mance retired only in June. As it happens, I have known Lady Arden for even longer than her husband has. We have a lot in common, though I would hasten to add that having something in common with the President of the Supreme Court is not a criterion for appointment. It just happens to be the case. Many centuries ago, the Arden family lived very close to the village in North Yorkshire where I grew up, and their name is perpetuated by the Arden Arms at Ackley Hill, just down the road, and by Pepper Arden, which is an old homestead in the vicinity. But she was born in Liverpool, the daughter, granddaughter, and sister of solicitors in the firm of Gaiman Arden and Co. in Liverpool. She was educated at Huyton College in Liverpool. She went up to read law at Girton College, Cambridge, in 1965, just as I was beginning my third year reading law at that very same college. And she took a starred first in 1968. She then went on to Harvard as a Kennedy Scholar and took an LLM there. She was called to the bar by Gray's Inn. In fact, all three of us are Gray's Inn people. I can't think how that could be. That was 2 years after I was, and was awarded the Arden Scholarship. But I don't think it was any relation, no. But her future lay in chancery work, and so she joined Lincoln's Inn in 1973 and practiced from Erskine Chambers, mainly in company law, until she went on the bench. In the meantime, she married Jonathan Mance in the Lady Chapel at Liverpool Cathedral, and somehow found the time and the energy to have 3 children, 2 daughters and a son, while continuing in practice. She became a QC in 1986 and served as Attorney General of the Duchy of Lancaster. She was appointed a High Court judge in 1993, the very first woman to be assigned to the Chancery Division. Indeed, the very first woman High Court judge not to be assigned to the Family Division. This is no mean achievement. Her husband joined the Queen's Bench Division later that year, making them the first married couple on the High Court bench and later on the Court of Appeal. She was also the first, and so far the only, woman to be appointed chairman of the Law Commission from 1996 to 1999. I was only a humble member of the Law Commission rather earlier than that, but that's another thing that we have in common. The Law Commission, as many of you will know, is an excellent preparation for the work of the Supreme Court, and we now have 3 former chairmen and 2 former commissioners amongst our ranks, so we'll soon be in a majority, I think, won't we? It was Lady Arden who introduced me to the Association of Women Barristers, where I followed her as president in the 1990s. She also has very strong international links. She served as an ad hoc judge on the European Court of Human Rights, where notably she made them see the error that they had made in the well-known case of Osman and the United Kingdom. She's also a member of the Permanent Court of Arbitration in The Hague, and she has for a long time been head of international judicial relations for England and Wales, where she has built up an unrivaled set of relationships from which we hope to profit in the future. She and her husband are great travellers and bring a wealth of experience of other legal systems to the court. These are only a few of the many achievements which make her such a welcome member of this court. Lady Arden, I now invite you to come forward and take the oaths.
I, Mary Howarth Arden, do swear by Almighty God that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, her heirs and successors according to law. I, Mary Howarth Arden, do swear by Almighty God that I will well and truly serve our Sovereign Lady, Queen Elizabeth II, in the office of a Justice of the Supreme Court of the United Kingdom, and do right to all manner of people after the laws and usages of this realm, without fear or favour, affection or ill will.
I now invite you to sign the oaths book. And I now have great pleasure in presenting you with your letters patent. And I now invite you to take your seat on the bench of the Supreme Court of the United Kingdom as Lady Arden of Hesel. And it is now our delight to welcome the family and friends of Lord Kitchin, who are here today to celebrate this important day with him. I particularly welcome Lady Kitchin and their daughter Lara and son James. And I understand that Lord Kitchin's brother Alan is here too with his daughter Anessa, together with a goodly number of other supporters and well-wishers, especially from the intellectual property profession. I confess to not knowing so much about Lord Kitchin as I do about Lady Arden, although we do, again, have something in common. He was educated at Oundle School and then at Fitzwilliam College, Cambridge. So he too must have become thoroughly familiar with the only hill in Cambridge and the Huntingdon Road. We used to envy Fitzwilliam College as we cycled past on our way to Girton, which is a further 2 miles out. There he took part 1 of the natural sciences tripos before switching to part 2 of the law tripos, an ideal combination for his later career. But he was also a great sportsman, playing golf for the college, and more spectacularly, coxing the light blue boat which won the university boat race in 1975. So I think I must have watched him being thrown into the Thames in the traditional way. But I'm told that his weight then was slightly below what mine is now. I'm not confessing what it is. He too was called to the bar by Gray's Inn in 1977 and has been a bencher since 2003. He was pupil to Robin Jacob, now Professor Sir Robin Jacob, who it's a delight to have with us today, a leading, of course, intellectual property lawyer. His practice covered all aspects of intellectual property, including patents, trademarks, copyright, designs, and trade secrets. This is an area of great importance to the economy of this country, where the facts are often highly technical, and the law may be a mixture of national, international, and European law, which requires careful navigation. I well remember his appearance in patent cases in the Court of Appeal and the House of Lords, where he had the ability to explain complex scientific material in a way which made sense to the non-scientists amongst us, as well, of course, as to persuade us of the justice of his client's case. He fully deserved his description when he went on the bench as a patent star. Lord Kitchin became Queen's Counsel in 1994, was appointed a High Court judge in October 2005, assigned to the Chancery Division. He was Senior Judge of the Patents Court from 2007 and a member of the enlarged Board of Appeal of the European Patent Office from 2009 to 2011. But he was never only an intellectual property judge. He relished the wide range of work of the Chancery Division and served as Chancery Supervising Judge for Wales, Western and Midland circuits from 2009. He was even called upon to sit in the Criminal Division of the Court of Appeal, where his expertise was invaluable in a case about DNA evidence. In 2011, he was appointed a Lord Justice of Appeal on the resignation of Sir Robin Jacob, and was the Lord Justice responsible for the supervision of intellectual property appeals. It was remarked at his welcome to the Court of Appeal that he would give a better impression than his predecessor of taking hopeless arguments seriously. As it genuinely pained him to tell people that they were wrong. These are excellent qualities in a judge, although as we only hear cases involving arguable points of law of general public importance in this court, we hope that those qualities will not be called upon too much while he is with us. Like Lady Arden, Lord Kitchin is also an author, having edited standard works on patents and trademarks and trade names. He's chair of the Advisory Council of the Centre of Commercial Law Studies at Queen Mary University of London and has an honorary LLD from that university. He's also an honorary fellow of Fitzwilliam College, Cambridge. His appointment brings the number of justices with chancery backgrounds back up to 4, which is where many people think it should be. He is most welcome to the court. Lord Kitchin, I now invite you to take the oaths.
I, David James Tyson Kitchin, do swear by Almighty God that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, her heirs and successors, according to law. I, David James Tyson Kitchin, do swear by Almighty God that I will well and truly serve our Sovereign Lady, Queen Elizabeth II, in the office of a Justice of the Supreme Court of the United Kingdom, and I will do right to all manner of people after the laws and usages of this realm, without fear or favour, affection or ill will.
I now invite you to sign the oaths book. I now have great pleasure in presenting you with your letters patent. And I now invite you to take your seat on the bench of the Supreme Court of the United Kingdom as Lord Kitchin. Well, that concludes our ceremony. Thank you all so much for coming today and for your attention. It is a significant day for Lady Arden and for Lord Kitchin and for the whole court. That is why it's so important to have you here and for our proceedings to be live streamed and available for later viewing, all part of our commitment to open justice. Now, the justices will now process out of the courtroom to the lobby, and the court will now adjourn.